Alright, the next data you need to take a look is going to be the Gundam Fenice here. So I did have everything upgraded to 6-star and put marks into them already. So these are going to be some of the stat you guys will see pre-alteration. So this one is definitely going to be leaning towards a little bit of that shooting based build. This one does have some pretty good melee defense for whatever reason. So that's actually quite a surprise. So yeah, so here's another quick spin around. So as far as the EX skill, we are presented with feel here. So from head part all the way to the leg parts there. But the one that I'm probably mainly going to be using, let's say in the latest multi-mission boss, probably just going to be the custom EX skill from the leg parts, and then the arm EX skill, and then the torso EX skill. And as for the head, we do have the regular good old head Vulcan, which I'm not going to be using because it's you guys do know the story. It's good and bad at the same time. Crew motivation is good because the enemy does tend to have a pretty less health bar. But when you take a look at the boss motivation, no, it's not gonna work like that. Up here, I do have the Fenice Alteration. I do not have the back part nor the arms here. So, but that is just another variant you guys can kind of get within the game as well. So let's talk about the alteration, because this one did get a alteration obviously, so that's why we are upgrading everything to that 6-star, which is a hefty investment. That's definitely for sure. So head part, let's see what's going on, since that one is going to be a head Vulcan, so we don't really care too much about what is it. So as for the stats, it's actually not too terrible. The melee defense got a substantial buff. Like what is that? Yeah, so that is a pretty nice jump right there. So shot defense is not nearly as high of a jump. So let's alterate that part right now, just for a quick demonstration for you guys, I guess, in a way. So yeah, I guess the base shot attack is good, right? That's definitely for sure. All right, so as for the torso, we see, yeah, the stat is still. So this one has some pretty good melee defense, but good shot attack. Like what? I don't know. I don't understand that. So this one, as far as the magazine, is still 7. What? I thought you would at least give us like a 11 magazine. So I guess what is it before? War. Okay. I mean, like, I don't even think you really need it in a way, right? You don't necessarily need it because you're not. You still look at B plus, so or B power. So you're still hitting relatively hard. So I think the alteration is only like if you really want to use the torso for like your actual builds, then go for it. But other than that, you don't necessarily need it, right? So that's gonna be the stat jump right there. So shot attack is definitely getting that massive jump compared to your melee. So okay, arm parts. So arm part is actually another one that you don't need to alterate, except for the fact that you may want to actually use it, because this one is already doing like a B plus power already. So even the alteration is not gonna make it anything more crazier, right? But do keep that in mind, the arm is a what is it, arm plus an integrated shield, so that's why you guys see stat that are looking at swallow 10k, but it's actually, you do want to do a little bit of a cut that in half, because it is 2 parts combined. So that's actually, I guess if you do cut it in half right now, it should be 5k, around that kind of number. So it's actually not that good. Sad. But what is that a max out? Let me see. So max out, you are only that much? I don't know. That to me still seems a little bit less, even as a standard 6-star alteration. Do expect more, but this one just jumps up to an 8 minus power, so that's pretty good. But like I said again, you don't necessarily need it in a way, because you're not losing out a whole lot. All right, leg part EX skill. Let's see what this one does for us here. So I'm just gonna alter the remaining part, when I do the cut, so you guys don't have to see me do it. So we're just gonna focus on the stats and kind of take a look at those EX skills and stuff. Once again, shot attack is pretty high, melee defense is pretty respectable, right? As far as the immediate hopper, you are getting that whopping S power now from the A power, right? If I recall correctly. Let's see. Oh, I do have another one right there. Yeah, so it's A power. So after you alterate it, obviously S power seems pretty good, right? But yeah, I don't think it's gonna hit any harder than any of your other S power type EX skill in a way. So it does have some nice effects. It does also give you like its good good amount of shot attack up, so that's good to your overall squad, so that's not bad. What about the back part? The back part does have some pretty balanced stack for your offensive, so that's good. Melee defense being really good once again. Ooh, and another debuff, huh? So this one could be good. For anyone that wants to debuff your enemy, this could be another one of those banger part that you can be looking into. This also comes with an piercing booster, which is honestly not that great, except for like specific challenges. And beam raptor here, so that's pretty good. I'll take those stats. Like, you give it a pretty good amount of, let's say, what is it? So I believe, yeah. So this one actually just gives it a little bit shot attack, so that's good. And the actual melee attack itself jumps up by nearly, I think it's double already. Yeah. So that's really good to see. Because before that, the melee attack stat is horrendous. So I'm glad we saw we seen those stats. That is really good. But as far as the EXQ or as far as the portrait, what's going on here? For that, oh wow, for this we're getting a 23% on the standard part. That's good. But like for desert, it's just underwhelming. Like I don't know how many people actually runs that as the actual vortex, but if you do, yeah, you're getting that. Like why? Why would you though? But it's good. It's good that they're opening up to these, niche category, getting some buffering, I guess. So that's good. But yeah, that's some pretty nice that spread. So not bad. So last but not least, we have the Buster Rifle Custom. So let's see what they have. Oof, yeah, this one is a hot skill. Like why? A squad job gauge boosting or a rate up? Like we don't need that. Yeah, the Buster Rifle is looks good, but the portrait itself does not really support that, unfortunately. So there you have it. So honestly, there's just not like a whole lot of parts that I feel like is really deserving of alteration. Nearly none of them really work it, right? Because the debuffing build is honestly just really niche. I guess in terms of the investment in return is really low, unless you don't want to die and you want to. So debuff is good when you don't want to take damage. You continuously activate debuff trait or debuff EXQ that lowers your enemy, so it's good. But what's the point? Like what is the point in that? Unless you unless you want to go for that, then do it. But as for anyone that's starting out the game, I really wouldn't recommend pushing these types of parts, right? Because you're not really betting yourself as a long run, right? Because at the end of the day, you do need to do that damage. And if you have like a whole build dedicated to debuff trait, like how are you gonna come up with like attacking or those power traits? So I guess this one is pretty much gonna be for like anyone that has spare parts, or let's say have time or have the resources for it, then it's good. But other than that, I really do feel like everything else is kind of like hit or miss. Like especially the portrait ones, they're all hit and miss. That's sad, because like I was expecting a good portrait from these parts here, but they're not. EXQs are definitely otherwise. That head part definitely won't recommend it just because of the head portrait. The following three right here is arguable, but since we do want the extra power in terms of taking down the boss mission, so the alteration is definitely a little bit more, let's say, is needed in a way. So let me alterate the remaining part and we'll see what kind of stat we have afterwards. Alright, so these are going to be the final number that we have for the Fenice after alteration. So you guys can see that the shot attack is just going to be really good. So I guess this, overall will be really balanced if you do activate another vortex, the high mobility right there. So, but as I look at right now, these two vortex, high firepower and then Gundam type, they both, so high firepower boosts both melee and shots, while Gundam type only boosts shots. So that's why you do see a little bit more higher percentage. That's for the base stat right now, so it's not looking too bad. But that melee defense is actually really impressive right there. So I am gonna take this into the boss mission. I'm probably just gonna put this onto a actual balance build, since we do have mixture of EXQ that are for both melee and shots. So we'll see how that goes. I think with these two EXQ, like these three right here alone, I think that should be enough to kind of take down the Satan in them. So let me do actually build, and then we will hop in and see how it goes. Alright, so I do have the mixed or the dual type build going on right here. So I guess the main important part to kind of take a look at is obviously going to be the portrait. So although the stat is pretty balanced, but the portrait is not really. So you're gonna see things that are like boosting shooting base specifically, like this one right there, that one right there, and then another one right there. So as for the elite EXQ and then the torso EXQ, they are going to be doing a little bit more power, right? So I don't really have anything that is a little bit more, let's say, EXQ based than I want it to be. So that is honestly just sad. So I think everything else is pretty much just gonna be EXQ based. Like, you know, we got some buffers right there, we got another buffer right there. So yeah, these one I do have the buffers in order to benefit from them. So we'll definitely see how it goes. But I don't think any of these actually buffs except for the elite EXQ. All right. So yeah, hopefully I think honestly this should be enough, because like at this point in time, with those damage trait and then with how low the HP is for like the Satan Gundam, I don't think it should be a problem since we are doing type advantage damage. So we should be fine. So I'm just gonna hop in out and then we shall see how things goes. Alright, so the first phase, we'll see if we can use the army execute to kind of take care of things, but kind of do keep in mind the army execute does not have any iframe, so we are not, yeah, so it's not even that good. What? So within this build alone, we were only able to do like what, roughly about maybe 2.5 to 3 million damage. That's sad. So I do have to come back once again because look at me, I got debuff. Like, are you kidding me? So right now my shot attack is doing negative damage. Like, so look at that, 7 damage. Okay, finally, and I got debuff once again. So yeah, Satan Gundam does a massive debuff when you're shooting attacks, so, and everything. So only melee pretty much works. So I'm just gonna see if I can force it through it once again. And yeah, damage is awfully pitiful. So I guess I'm just gonna hop out here, hop back in, and try out just the late EXQs by itself. Alright, so we are back. So this time around, I'm just gonna launch the late EXQ and then call it a day, because we're just not. So this one does have iframe, obviously it's a test EXQ. So let me see. Yeah, we are 10 million, a casual 10 million from an dual type build setting. Nice, really love to see that. But kind of do keep that in mind. The army EXQ does not have any iframe, so we just can't hit him. Yeah, so that's that. So I guess this right here does wraps up the EXQ testing version of it, because like obviously we can't really do much, but I guess I can hop into like a quick friend battle and see what is going on, and then I die. And I die. So yeah, let me see if I can find like a tech attribute friend, and then we'll hop in and try out the army EXQ, and that will be a wrap. Alright, so finding a tech attribute friend was not as hard as I always imagined. So here we go, we got one right here. We'll pop this real quick and then noise. Let me see. Okay, so it just give you like a, oh, that was a nice poster there that we didn't get to see, because we killed the enemy way too fast. Why? That's not bad. I definitely do love that finishing post, I guess. But other than that, do let me know the alteration. How do you guys feel about the standard alteration for the Gundam Fenice right here? Honestly, I just feel like the portrait is a little bit underwhelming. As far as the building aspect of it, I guess is still not that great either. Just because of the fact that the stat itself is kind of like all over the place. This one looking like a shooting based build, but at the same time, it does not really give you that massive, let's say, shot defense. So you won't really benefit too much from this gear itself. The change gear. So this one right here. So if you slap on the 40% right here, it's not really going to benefit you a whole lot, because you only have 12k shot defense, while in terms of, let's say, the melee gear, you are going to benefit substantially because of, you know, 35k for that, you know, melee defense. So this build overall just seems really wacky in a sense. Even though those EXQ, I think they're, you know, they're definitely solid, no doubt about that, because, you know, after alteration, any EXQ this pretty much gets a massive buff in terms of how much they can output. So that part, definitely no complaints on that. But other than that, I am a little bit sad, just because I feel like this one could be big, but it's not. So until next time, I guess, and when we do get another battle standard alteration, we'll see how they go then. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for me, and then I'll be catching you guys on the next one.